Today we're talking about the spotlight effect, and I just want you to watch this video.
I sit behind people in airplanes all the time who are watching like a show I'm on. And then they're like, could you hand me my suitcase? You know, I'm like, yes, of course. Nobody has any idea. No, it's wonderful.
Are you ready for that to change now?
I don't think it's going to change. You sound like my husband. No, I'm not worried about it. It's not. Every time I work, somebody's like, get ready. And I'm like, no, not worried about it. I'm just a lady in sweatpants at the grocery store.
Okay, that is Carrie Coon, who has played roles in Gone Girl, Fargo, The Post, Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire, and Avengers. You get the gist. I mean, Gone Girl. Okay, so the spotlight effect, I'm sure you've heard of it. It is a psychological phenomenon where people tend to overestimate how much others notice them and their actions, leading to a feeling of being under constant scrutiny. So I think this is a pretty good topic, especially if you are a creator, but even if you're not a creator, it can just be helpful in life to realize that no one cares, no one's actually really watching you, and let's be honest, even when, I don't know about you, but even when you're having a conversation with people sometimes and, you can just tell that, they might be preoccupied or they're thinking about something else, or you can definitely judge when they're thinking about their response to what you're saying and they're just waiting for that moment to jump in. These are people who need to behave like they're engaged and are interested in what you're saying. So if those are the people in our lives that are sometimes challenged, gosh, all fairness to people, particularly, people in my life, because I tend to be quite a chatter, and I do it too. We all do it, where there are just times when, because, life is full of interruptions, people are, interrupting us, and we're interrupting people all the time, whether it's at work or at home or in a social situation or anything like that. We're here for a long time as well as hopefully a good time. So if that is how we can be with people that we really care about and we're invested in, that we're distracted sometimes and just not fully present, then out there, we're in the negative zone. Like, people care about us negative amounts, especially compared to what is going on for them between their two ears. And yeah, the spotlight effect. I just think that this is, and I'm going to do a video shortly about embarrassment and also confidence, because, these are just good things for us to just keep on examining and pondering and getting better at dealing with and just being or not being, if it's a negative, behaviour or reaction to just things that might knock us in life. So yeah, the spotlight effect, people aren't focused on us. They are really, really not focused on us. And I found, quite a few cartoons that just really sum it up, and I might put some of them here on the screen. But another cool way that I saw it being described as that, don't get to 80 years old and realised that you have carved a little path of, let's say, water. You know how water finds its way, and when water is coming down from a higher place to a lower place, let's say it's down a hill, let's just keep it basic. It's coming down a hill and it finds the path that the hill lets it find. So in terms of thinking about our paths through life, are we going to make decisions and stick to a path that we believe that everyone else is giving way for us to, to do all the things that we want to do and to live the life that we want to live? Okay, this is getting really deep now. Let's take the example of starting a YouTube channel, because that is something that a lot of people actually do want to do. And you might be a creator and you are doing it, which is amazing, and it's something that a lot of people aren't going to take that first step. But if you're someone who in 2 years' time you are going to write a comment on another YouTuber's video and say, I have been wanting to make a channel for 5 years, 7 years, 2 years. I've watched YouTube for this many years. I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel. You have convinced me today. I mean, why leave it in someone else's hands? The only person that can make the decision to start a YouTube channel, if you want to start a YouTube channel, is you. If you want to start a YouTube channel, give yourself permission to start that YouTube channel. Why would you wait for someone else to give you the key to unlock a part of you that was stopping you from doing something that you really want to do. Time is the currency in our lives now. Money is going to come and it's going to go. And we see that there are plenty of us, me included. I've had times where I haven't had a job, and I'm sure that is most people's experience, especially if you are 50 plus. Like me, there's every chance that there have been times in your life when you haven't had a job and you've needed a job, unlike when you were a lot younger and you could have just, got by on a bit less, or maybe you still lived with your parents or something like that. But like if something is holding you back, what is it that you're afraid of? What is actually holding you back? Is it that you're going to tell people and they're going to make fun of you and then you're going to be embarrassed? Did anyone really actually die of embarrassment? Thinking face, thinking face. No. No, they didn't. All right, so just get rid of that idea, because I don't think you're here to live our lives according to some perceived plan or expectations of other people. Just make a decision, own your decision, and if it's things in your past trauma that you believe is truly holding you back from doing something like, for example, starting a YouTube channel, well, maybe it's time to let that die. Like if you truly feel that your past is holding you back from starting a YouTube channel or making any change in your life that you want to make, like the past is gone now. It really has gone. And I'm not saying that it's as easy as like clicking our fingers and just moving on, but I think there's really something in the fact that we have more control over what our next actions are going to be than sometimes we think we do. Yeah, I don't know. It's just the whole is it that someone's going to criticize you? Well, why do they care? They do them, you do you. When we die alone anyway, most of the time, don't we? People don't often die together. But, once that happens, it happens. So it's like, I don't know, don't have regrets. I don't know. I'm not sure if you've watched any of those videos about people who are a bit older and they're talking about looking back on their lives and the things that they have regrets about. And one of the things I've really noticed about that whole genre of videos is that they say the things that you really were worried about when you were 45 or 50 or 55, and that really preoccupied your mind about what was important. And that might be you wanted to keep on working, well beyond the amount of time that you're comfortable with because you felt that you really did need that extra money. But in actual fact, did you? Because one of the ladies that I follow, she's a fellow Kiwi and she is living her best van life now. And she talks about having regrets about not stopping work earlier and just getting on the road. And then guess what? The day that she made the decision, and I'll link her channel below, but the day that she made the decision, I'm just going to go and do it, was the start of newfound freedom for her. And she actually talks about having regrets, and she really does sit in that place of talking about being regretful. And I see people in the comments being really kind and trying to make her feel better about, hey, look, don't dwell in regret, just move on positively. You're there now. But I think she's done a service to people by giving voice to that, because talking about regretting, especially years of your life, has got to put you in a bit of a sad place. And I think there is a lot of generosity in people sharing those sorts of feelings on their YouTube channels, because, as I say, there's nothing I can do about things I haven't done in the past or have done, or decisions I've made that weren't the best decisions. That would put me in a place of feeling a little bit helpless, and I don't like to feel helpless. So, yeah, I think that's a very generous thing that she's done. So picking it up again, just, ending on a lighter note now, if you want to start a YouTube channel, it's up to you to give yourself permission to do that. And I am part of a beautiful community I've found, and I'm so grateful to have been welcomed into a beautiful, beautiful community of women my age, some of them are younger than me, some are older than me, but we're all in the, third trimester of our lives, fourth, I don't know, yeah. Let's say 75% aisle, 3/4 through our lives or something like that. And I'm so grateful to be part of the community. So, you know what? I've even heard some creators talking recently about how it's actually, someone was saying that they were looking for a new friendship group. And I haven't really heard many creators talking about how they were looking. I think, was it Mrs. Paula? I hope it was you, Mrs. Paula. Otherwise, I've made a mistake, haven't I? I'll edit this out if it wasn't you, Mrs. Paula. But I think it was. I think I was watching. Mrs. Paula does retirement, and she was going to lunch with a group of friends, and she was talking about how she was the last one of her friendship group who retired. Just a little baby of the family, probably, Mrs. Paula. She looks like a baby, actually. She's got a very young face there, Mrs. Paula. Like, honestly, are you retired even? Like, truly, how could that even be? But she is retired, and she must be the age she is. Otherwise, she wouldn't be hanging out with the rest of us old ducks. But I thought it was very cool the way she just said that she was looking for, looking to make new friends. And she's found that in her YouTube community, in this community. So if you are of a certain delicate but robust and wise age, like me and like a whole bunch of us on here, and you are not yet a creator and you want to be a creator, so just make sure that you are living your fabulous life all the time on your terms. And if anyone else doesn't like it, well, boo-hoo for them. Okay, I'm going to turn this around, that if someone else doesn't like what you're doing, well, first of all, what do they care? And secondly, if they don't like what you're doing, what do you care? Okay? What do you care? Decide not to. If you want to make a YouTube channel, end of. You're out. We're out. Now go start that YouTube channel.